Hello everyone, welcome to Ziru Vlogz. Today I'll be making Spiderman Amigurumi Keychain. So what I made is just the head. I have two keychains here for comparison. So in this option 1 is we're going to embroider the eyes. You see, I embroidered it with white yarn and a black yarn. So this is option 1. In case you don't want to embroider the face details, I have here option 2 where you're going to work with a felt paper. In this video, I will tell you the pros and cons of doing embroidery and felt papers. What we need in this amigurumi is, of course, the red yarn, and I'll be using 2.5mm hook, and then scissor, 2 needles because we're going to embroider the web details on the face. So I also have here black thread, but if you don't have this thick thread, you can always use 3 strands of the thread, and then I have a bigger needle here for this, and then this one, the darning needle to weave the ends. Of course, we also need stitch marker, and for the option 2, we will be using felt paper, black and white, and then I cut a small piece of cardboard. Then I draw the eyes of the size you want for the eyes. So this time I will be going to make a bigger version of this so that you can see what's going on the amigurumi. And also we need this glue gun to glue the eyes on the keychain. It is also a requested video, so I make one for her because she's going to make this for his son, which will be having a birthday, and she will make a giveaways of this tutorial. So thank you for requesting this video. This helps you in making your giveaways. I'll be using a magic ring. If you're not used to do it with a magic ring, you can always do 4 chains and then close by doing slip stitch on the first chain, so you can have the ring. But I always do my amigurumi with a magic ring because that's what I prefer. With a magic ring, you need to hold the tail of the yarn and then wrap it around your finger twice, and then cross this working yarn like so, and then insert your hook through all the loops here, and then pull up a loop and then chain 1. So that's how I make the magic ring. And then I will be putting 6 single crochet on the magic ring. So in doing the single crochet, insert your hook in your magic ring, pull up a loop. Now that you have 2 loops, you can pull through. Now you make the single crochet. Now that I have made 1, I will make another 5. And then to close this magic ring, since we doubled it, first you need to pull this tail, then pull this tail, then you see this one here, it's tightened a little bit. Now you need to pull this to where your tail was, pull this one so that we're going to close this first. because you know this one, if we pull this, it will close this one. If we pull this one, this inner loop will close. So we need to close the inner loop first and then the second loop by pulling the tail. Then in this keychain, I will not be using slip stitch and we will be doing a continuous round. So we need to insert our hook directly to the first stitch, and we're going to increase in round 2, and we will be having 12 stitches in total. 1, 2. Increase meaning 2 single crochet or 2 stitches in one stitch. Now we're going to put the stitch marker on the first stitch so that we will not forget that this is the first stitch. Just increase until we reach the end. We'll proceed to the round 3. In round 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch. Don't forget to put your stitch marker, and then increase on the second stitch. Just repeat this pattern until we reach the end, and we'll have a total of 18 stitches. We're still going to increase, so the pattern will be 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, and then we're going to increase in the third stitch. We're going to repeat this pattern until we reach the end, and we will have 24 stitches in total. In round 5, the pattern will be single crochet, in the first stitch, single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the second stitch, single crochet in the third stitch, and increase in the fourth stitch. So you just need to repeat the pattern, 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then increase on the next stitch, and we will have 30 stitches in total. We're done with the round 5. Now we're proceed to round 6. So in round 6 to 10, we will just single crochet around, and we will have 30 stitches in each round. So I'll be back when I reach the 10th round so that I will tell you the next step. Now, I just finished round 10 and I embroider the other eye. But don't worry, I will show it to you how I embroider it. Now, I have attached the needle in my white yarn. And you may want to prepare your black yarn. Round 8. Now I have to count 2 rounds up. So this is 8, 7, 6. Now your the pointy part of the eyes of the Spider-Man should be in the 6th round. This is 8, 7, 6. And then you need from here, you need to count 2 up, 6. Then you need to count from here, from this level here, you need to count 3 to the left. So this is its level stitch. 1, 2, 3. And then I insert the yarn thrice, and then on the 4th loop, this one will be on the next stitch going to the left. That's just one strand there, and then I insert the 5th strand to the next stitch again, and then not back to this point where we started the embroidery. Now I just put the stitch one level up. So that's how I created this. Now I will show you how I will create the right eye. So just like what we did on the left eye, we need to count 2 level up, 1, 2, and then we need to count from here, we need to count 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now we need to insert our needle to here. So if you are going to place the yarn, it will be a slant. There, you will form a slant. And then back to where your yarn is. So this will be our first loop. Now we need to do 2 more of this. The way I embroider the eyes, I always place these 2 yarns side by side so that it will form the eyes. So this will be the last. Now I will be inserting my needle to the next stitch, not back to the first point where we started the embroidery. And then from here, we are going to go back here, and then we will now insert our needle to the next stitch to the right. And then same to what we did here, we are just going to put or insert our needle 1 round up, like that, and we're done. With the white, we're going to outline this with a black yarn. Now you need to cut this. At the beginning, I knot the yarn so that it will not be easily pulled out. so it will stay put in there. So that's why I knot the yarn twice, thrice, as long as it doesn't pass through the hole. Now let's move on to the black yarn. Just like we did with the white yarn, we need to knot the black yarn as well. So I'm going to knot it 3 times so that it will create a bigger knot and it will not pass through the hole. So it is secure now and you don't have to worry that it will go off. And now you have to insert it with your darning needle. And then, since we are just going to outline the black yarn, so we need to insert this from the point inserted the white yarn to. And then from here, we are going to place it side by side to the white yarn as well, so that it will not look like that. It will be above the white yarn. It should be beside the white yarn, like that. And then back to the first point where we inserted our needle. There. And then we need to go back to the second point, and then here on the third stitch, like that, and then insert it back there. And that's how it will look like. And then we're not going to cut the yarn, we just continue doing the outline by inserting it to the next point. And then, just like what we did here, we just do this. Now we're going to close this head first. And we need to tie this so that it will not come undone. And then in the next round, we're going to decrease. So round 11, the pattern is single crochet. Don't forget your stitch marker on the first stitch. Then single crochet in the second stitch, single crochet in the third stitch, and then we're going to decrease. So to decrease, I am using invisible decrease. So we're going to insert our hook in the 2 front loops of this adjacent stitch, like so, and then pull up a loop. Now that we have 2 loops, we're going to pull through 2. That's how we do the invisible decrease. So we need to repeat this pattern until we reach the end, and we will have 24 total stitches. round 12, we're going to decrease to 18 stitches. So the pattern will be single crochet on the first stitch, single crochet on the next, and then decrease. So we just need to repeat this until we reach the end, and we will have 18 stitches in total. This time we're going to stop this amigurumi because on the next round this hole will be smaller and it's hard to stop. Now I'm done stuffing my amigurumi. We're going to move on to round 0 decrease. The pattern will be 1 single crochet, decrease. So repeat this until we reach to the end. We reach the end, and we will have a total of 12 stitches. Now we reach to the final round, and we're going to decrease to 6 stitches. So we're just going to make 6 decrease, and then we need to fasten it. Now we just ended with 6 stitches. And we're going to fasten up with a slip stitch to the next stitch. And then leave about 10 inches tail because we're going to sew the keyring directly so that it will be as firm as it could be. And then you need to close this hole here. How I do this. So we're going to insert our needle in the front loops only. So I've done the 2 front loops since it's just 6 stitches. So I do 2 front loops together. Insert your needle to the first front loop and then to its next front loop, and then pull the yarn, and then I always tie a knot in the end of my amigurumi. This is just optional. And then I pass the needle up through the magic ring because that's where we're going to put the keyring. So this is how I put the keyring on my amigurumi. I just sew it like that, and then I insert my needle back to the magic ring, and then I just pass my needle to any random holes or stitches. We're going to insert this to the next so that this key rings is secure. So just insert it back to the next stitch and then back to the magic ring. You need to be careful in pulling this yarn because if you pull it too tight, this horizontal yarn here will be very obvious. And now that we've inserted it to the magic ring, we are going to insert it back to the key ring and then back to the magic ring and pass it through any random stitches. And then this will be the end, and just like what I've said earlier, this is just a habit. You can do this, tying a knot in the end or not, it's your choice. And then back to the stitch where I pass through the needle, and then back so that the knot will be hidden as well. And then we're going to cut the yarn. Now we're done. We're just going to do the thread is 1.5 meters thread to do the web on the face, and I will show you how I do it. So first I knot the end. So just knot the end, and I will insert it to our keychain. So you need to do this one here as identification that this is the front. I'll be back because I'll be making another one for the felt paper option 2. So you can choose which one do you prefer. I just finished the other one. This time we need to do the web on the face first because we're going to glue the felt paper. And I'm going to show you how I cut the felt paper to form the eyes. Just like what we did here, we need to do this first so that this will be our identification that this where will our eyes be placed. So since our eyes is on the 8th round, we need to put this small circle on the 8th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So just assign any random stitch on the 8th round since we haven't glued the eyes yet. Back to you when we're going to do the eyes. I finished embroidering the web on the face. Now we're going to make the eyes. What I did is I cut it already. So the cardboard that the eyes was drawn, I just cut it to form this on the felt paper and trace it on the black first, and then I cut the outer part, and then this little eyes that we formed will be traced on the white felt paper, and this is what it should look like. Put the black felt paper first. So we're going to use the glue gun. Just be careful not to burn yourself because this will hurt a lot. Just make sure that the edges are clean because the glue or the stick glue on the inside will be spread out once fast on this because the stick glue dries fast and it will be messy if we don't do it fast. And then we need to put this one. So I'll explain it to you again. From this point here, you need to go 2 levels up, so that 1, and then we need to count 3, 1, 2, 3, so it should be slanted as well. the option 1, the embroidered one, then option 2, the felt paper. And I will give you my thoughts at the end of this video. I'm back and now we're on our final thoughts. So on option 1, we did the embroidery of the eyes, and in option 2, we did the felt paper. So in making the head is just the same time that I've made the head and this embroidery on the web of the face details, and then the eyes. What I've noticed is that in embroidery, the eyes are not perfectly the same or identical, and then it has a thin lining, and I think it's okay, but this is better. So in option 2, the difficulties that I've encountered in option 2 is cutting the felt paper and glue it, doing with the glue gun, because it's hot, and you see it's better. The eyes are more defined here, and this looks like Spiderman better than this one. But if you prefer to embroider it, well, it's okay. And if you do felt paper, it's okay too. So for me, this is just a personal opinion. I like this option 2 better. You made this keychain. You can tag me on my social media accounts. The links are on the description box so that I can see your work too for inspiration. And also, if you learned something about this video, you can always subscribe and like to my videos, and then click the notification bell for more upcoming beginner-friendly amigurumis. And also, if you have questions about how I make this, you can always contact me to the following links on the description box below. And that's all. See you in my next video. Bye bye.